At the first meeting of NDA MPs, Narendra Modi has officially been chosen as the leader of the National Democratic Alliance. He will be sworn in as Prime Minister for the third time on Sunday. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. Narendra Modi began this meeting of NDA MPs by bowing down before the Constitution. This was a very symbolic image because the Constitution has come to be a key protagonist in these elections, and the opposition immediately argued that Rahul Gandhi should take the credit for this moment because Rahul Gandhi had been carrying copies of the Constitution to his election rallies. At this NDA meeting, Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu unequivocally endorsed the leadership of the Prime Minister, and in fact, Nitish Kumar made a half quip talking about how all those parties that had made some gains in these elections would lose conclusively in the next one. On this program today, we'll be looking at the larger message from that meeting of the NDA. We'll also be looking at what a Modi 3.0 might look like. What is the kind of churn that it may cause within the BJP? Where does it leave the fate and the future of leaders like Yogi Adityanath? Also, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the former Madhya Pradesh chief minister who won by the highest margin among BJP leaders, amid talk that he could get a senior berth in the cabinet, including even maybe being home minister or the role of party president. One thing is for sure, there will be churn within the BJP, and the prime minister, known for his alpha style, will now have to shift gear into a consensus building style to run a coalition government. So, a lot to talk about. Let me introduce our guests on the program today. Shantanu Gupta, author, also biographer of Yogi Adityanath, is with us. Good to see you, Shantanu. Namaskar. Also joining us is Neerja Chowdhury, veteran journalist and columnist and author. Good to see you again, Neerja. Saba Naqvi, who has spent decades studying the BJP, also has a very important book on the BJP out, is with us. And also joining us is Santwana Bhattacharya, who's the editor of the New Indian Express. Good to see you, ma'am. Welcome, everybody, to the program. Let me start by getting first comments. I'll start with you, Neerja. That image of the Prime Minister sort of holding up the Constitution to his head, bowing before the Constitution, and the BJP would argue that Modi called the Constitution his holy book even in 2014. The Congress is pointing to this image and saying, see, it was our work that made the Constitution a key sort of metaphor of this election. How did you see, let's start with this image. How did you look at this image? This is the first thing Narendra Modi did as he walked into that meeting in Parliament. Neerja Chowdhury.
In 2014, Narendra Modi, when he entered Parliament, bowed at the steps of gate number 1. If you remember, bowed before Parliament. It was a very striking optics. You know, it stays with you. It stayed with you for a very long time afterwards. In 2024, he goes straight to the copy of the Constitution and bows before it. Now, of course, the Congress's centerpiece of its narrative was the Constitution of India, that the BJP was going to change it. And of course, that message has gone down to the far corners, to the Dalits in various states of India who bought it and thought that they will take away the reservations given to the Dalits. And I think that has been very central to the Dalits shifting their loyalty from the BJP to the Samajwadi Party Congress combination in Uttar Pradesh, which has given the SP such a whopping number of seats and actually has overturned that election. But Barkha, either way, whether it's Rahul Gandhi holding up the Constitution during the campaign, or it's Narendra Modi bowing before the Constitution before being sworn in as the leader of the NDA, or accepted as the leader of the NDA parliamentary party, going on to become the Prime Minister of India, we can feel reassured that the Constitution is going to hold a supreme place in the future scheme of things. So it's very good optics.
That's a very interesting point, that there's a kind of a national consensus on the fact that the constitution is supreme. But Shantanu, if you were to look at the symbolism of that moment, some people say political language has changed, and it has to when there's a coalition government as opposed to a single party government. Mr. Modi now talks in terms of an NDA government. We'll play out his clip in a moment. Visual frames that had room only for all the focus being on the Prime Minister, on Narendra Modi, now have to make room for a Nitish Kumar and a Chandra Babu. You saw how the visual framing was, that the political language is already changing. In what fundamental way do you think, having even written an entire book, a biography of Yogi Adityanath, in what fundamental way do you think Modi 3.0 will have to change, will have to adapt to new realities?
I think to start with Narendra Modi's gesture to bow down to the constitution, as Neerja ji said, in 2014 also he bowed down to the stairs of parliament. I think that's the way he has conducted himself, and by doing that he has shown his resolute commitment to the constitution. And also in his speech he has called out the lie, the super lie of the India Alliance campaign, which started by the fake video of Amit Shah posted by a sitting chief minister. I'm sure there must be inquiry on that. And I think he's cleared that if whatever vote share you have gained by the fake trick, by the fake guarantee cards, then now the women are standing with those fake guarantee cards in front of Congress offices. So I think he called out that, and resolution and constitution of Narendra Modi and BJP was intact, will be intact. He's shown that, right? The point number one. Point number two, in all such meetings, even when BJP has absolute majority, NDA people were present in equal numbers. But now you're right, they have a reliance. And the way Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar spoke, we all know their history, that they have changed sides. But the way they spoke, in solidarity they spoke, I think we have seen how the mood have swung back. The tweets, the social media chatter, all the sensex we have seen, I think it's back to the normal. The kind of person Narendra Modi is, I think he will be resolute. And when even JDU is saying we don't have any problem with UCC, they have said we can review Agniveer. And when Nitish Kumar said कि आप आगे बढ़िए, आप जो कहेंगे हम आपके साथ रहेंगे, I think will be a very strong government. A coalition government with 240, which is a very large number, right? It'll be a very, very super solid government.
Let me open this up. Santwana Bhattacharya, do you agree with that it will be a solid, stable, strong government, that the BJP at 240, and this is what BJP supporters say, still more seats than the Congress had in 1991. The fact is, there's also the persona of the Prime Minister. He's been used to being a very alpha leader. He has to now, soften some of his edges, because that's the reality of politics. But he's also a smart politician. He can adapt. Do you think he'll be able to? What is the big change that you expect in Modi 3.0?
The first very important thing that has happened, it is no longer a Modi government as it had begun to look like. And what was referred to most of the time, it's an NDA government. And the first thing that will happen as we see and follow up on the cabinet formation, the portfolio distribution, it will be far more transactional than it was earlier. What does that mean? That means earlier we had a very, very sort of top-heavy government, which is run entirely from PMO. Whatever messaging and everything was controlled by that. At the most, there was you could hear about Amit Shah. Otherwise, it was a very, very strong top-down government, right? So now it is going to be far more transactional. There has to be far more give and take. Of course, there is what Neerja said is partly right. The imagery that came out of today's meeting was reassuring to. That is the message. PM Modi, Mr. Modi going and bowing before the constitution. Something it immediately reminded me of what happened when he first entered the parliament in 2014, and then today the way Nitish spoke, the way Chandrababu Naidu spoke. there were a little bit of it's not that inside the government there was not a little bit of what you call what is going to happen, whether how much support they will give, whether allies can be depended upon. This kind of talk was going on.
Right.
So today's meeting, the way Chandrababu spoke, the way Nitish spoke, so and the way PM after a long time seemed to laughed out. It looked the entire optics was of reassurance. Okay, that we are here. This is a very solid setup, but this is not a BJP government. This is not a Modi Sarkar anymore. This is NDA government. So those pulls and pressures, those regional concerns will have to come into play.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Let me just come in before I come to Sabha, since we're all talking about the way Nitish spoke, the way Chandrababu spoke. Let me play out that bit of Nitish Kumar that actually made the Prime Minister erupt into laughter. The Prime Minister-elect, I should say, at this point, to be technically correct, the Prime Minister-elect, the incoming Prime Minister, burst out into laughter. Take a look at how Nitish Kumar responded.
आप जान लीजिए कि कुछ लोग, हम लोगों को तो अब लगता है कि अगली बार जो आप आइएगा ना, तो इस बार हम देखें कि कुछ इधर उधर कुछ जीत गया है, अगली बार सब हारेगा, हमको पूरा भरोसा। ये सब बिना मतलब का बात बोल करके क्या किया है? और ये सब कोई काम किया है? उन लोगों ने आज तक कोई काम नहीं किया, देश की कोई सेवा नहीं की है, लेकिन आपने इतनी सेवा की है और उसके बाद इस तरह से हुआ है। तब इस बार फिर जो मौका मिला है, तो इस मौका के बाद आगे अब उन लोगों के लिए कोई गुंजाइश नहीं रहेगा, वो सब खत्म हो जाएगा।
So, Saba, for all those in the opposition who are thinking that Nitish Kumar will do a palat again, at least immediately he's showing no indication, no interest. What do you expect the first set of changes to be?
So, first of all, Barkha, I'm so glad that all my colleagues, especially Neerja, mentioned the temple of democracy, Parliament. And let me also remind everyone that we've had the worst Parliament ever in terms of going to JPCs, bills not being scrutinized, ramming through legislation. We saw the consequences. So doing gestures of worship does not mean you actually honor the institution. The Parliament has not been treated with honorably. It's just the data. Just look up ADR data about sessions, bill, consultation, not giving opposition any space. That will have to change now. So I'm very glad that he's done the same thing with the constitution, because now clearly he's not even in a position to make any changes, even if he presumed that he wanted to. I will make that point very forcefully. And I'm sure Neerja knows, as she's a veteran, how badly Parliament has been conducted, how we have seen a complete degradation of that institution in the last few years. Whether people want to say it the way I say it is a different matter. Number one is that. Number two, of course, I don't expect Nitish Kumar I expect them to come and be sworn in comfortably now. Nitish Kumar has an election in a year. We still don't know what is the condition about his health. Does he want to continue to be chief minister? Bihar politics is such that it's always, even it's in three portions. The middle portion, whoever it aligns with wins. And the RJD has a much larger vote share, but they have not led such a creative campaign as Akhilesh did in terms of candidates and all, in my view. So so does Nitish Kumar will determine what he wants next? Does he want to leave a legacy? His legacy is not going to be sidekick to Narendra Modi. Please remember how many times he left him. That when Narendra Modi became the prime ministerial face, he objected. A man who stayed happily with the NDA of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who had no issues there, went back and forth 3-4 times. Now we do not know what are his circumstances. Is he in good health? What does he want in Bihar in the future? Does he want something in the center? I somehow don't see him wanting to sort of be aside, or does he want to leave a legacy? He did bring about the caste census. We don't know with him. And if you see what he said, you hear his language, it's very open-ended. You think idhar udhar ho gaya hai, jo aapke karne ke bawajood bhi ho gaya hai. So he's saying kuch hua hai. So Nitish, you never know what is going in his mind. He has left 3 times since Narendra Modi came in the scene. Back, forth, back, forth. He can do a party, but he is not there are certain, he's ultimately an old socialist. Let's never forget that. He has negotiated with a very small number of MPs managing that. With Chandrababu Naidu, I have no doubt that he wants a lot of money and he'll get it. Because he's been Chandrababu Naidu believes in that smart city kind of language. He believes in shining India and all that. That's the sort of stuff. So his orientation will not be different, but he is the product of a regional movement. What was NTR? NT Rama Rao was a regional force who Indira Gandhi tried to subdue in very undemocratic ways. That is his legacy. He will define it with his region. Please look up the statements that Pawan Kalyan makes. Pawan Kalyan speaks against the BJP. He speaks against unconstitutional laws. Right now, nothing will happen. Then let's see what happens. Right now, the BJP will think that they might even get some people over. But I don't see how Uddhav Thackeray can join them right now unless something terrible happens to him inside. There's all this media narratives being created that everyone is going to join the BJP. So let's see. I mean, I'm sure they have the most money. So a couple of things I'll say here. That the parliament, I want anyone to challenge me about parliament. I'm happy to. I've been looking at it.
Okay, I think we can safely say that the way Parliament will debate will change. It's a function of the numbers. That's the first thing that's going to change. But I think the more interesting question is what happens within the BJP. Does anything change within the BJP?
That is important.
Before I come to that, I just want to play out a clip of the Prime Minister at this morning's meeting, and I'll come right back. Take a look.
पहले भी एनडीए थी, आज भी एनडीए और कल भी एनडीए है. आप सोचिए 10 साल बाद भी कांग्रेस 100 के आंकड़े को नहीं छू पाई. और अगर मैं 14, 19 और 24 3 चुनावों को जोड़ करके कहूं, कांग्रेस के 3 चुनाव जोड़ूं, तो इन 3 चुनावों में जितनी सीटें मिली है उससे ज्यादा हमें इस चुनाव में मिली है.
So, Modi on the front foot again, not defensive, not looking at this at all as any sort of setback, even if he's feeling it internally. That's not what he's showing. But Shantanu, the city is abuzz, and I'll start with Shantanu and come to everybody else on what might change within the BJP. There is talk that a Shivraj Singh Chauhan might be given a role in the cabinet or even as party president. There is talk that Amit Shah may no longer be home minister, though there's no official confirmation that the allies have asked for this, but there's media buzz, social media buzz. And there's a lot of conversation about where this will leave Yogi Adityanath, the leader whom you have actually profiled. What sort of churn do you expect within the BJP, Shantanu?
I think anyone who risks that they know what's happening inside the BJP, I think it's a big risk. And these are not the days when cabinet berths are decided on journalist phone. I think, having said that, anyway, Nadda's terms in on extension, and he will anyway go. So now there's a talk of a new national president, and BJP normally makes quite a stalwart as a national president, right? Jayaprakash Nadda has a big political career. He was part of Yuva Morcha, Vidyarthi Parishad, all of that. So I think someone like Shivraj Singh Chauhan fits the bill, and because he won with a big margin, he delivered in Madhya Pradesh in assembly election and in this election also, though he was not heading the government, but he's a stalwart leader from there. So that can be a good name, but we don't know how Narendra Modi decides. But Amit Shah going off as a home minister, I don't think so. Because now Narendra Modi needs even more stronger, like a home minister or like a buddy. And the way Narendra Modi patted, if you notice that Yogi Adityanath, I think that's also a signal that all the chatter that's going around that Yogi Adityanath asked these many seats, there's This was not given. There was some khadbad between Yogi and Modi. I think he gave a quiet signal to all this chatter that Yogi will continue. He is one of the stalwart leaders of BJP. So I doubt there will be any strong changes. Yeah, JP Nadda has to move, which he will move anyways.
That's very interesting, and I did notice that when Yogi Adityanath goes up Neerja to meet the Prime Minister, he thappos him on the back, and Shantanu is saying that there's going to be no big changes when it comes to Amit Shah and Yogi Adityanath. But on the other hand, I know Shantanu won't agree. There are also lots of whispers about whether Yogi Adityanath and the central leadership of the BJP were on the same page in ticket distribution in Uttar Pradesh. Who should be held responsible for what happened in Uttar Pradesh? How do you see it?
I think, Uttar Pradesh has been key. As I said, it's overturned this 2024 election. Had Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra, if you take away, the BJP has held on to its ground in, North Indian states, many of them, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Himachal, Delhi. They have gained new places. They're now, BJP or NDA are in power in 4 states, 2 of them new. Arunachal, they're back. Orissa, they've gained. I mean, it's a big victory. Andhra, they piggybacked Chandrababu Naidu. And Sikkim, they have an ally. So it is NDA government. Then you look at, of course, they haven't done as well as in West Bengal and Karnataka. There have been some losses. Bihar, losses, yes, but not big losses. The big loss has come from Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. And why it's gone a certain way, we need to do a deeper study. Why is it that the Modi wave has held on it wasn't a wave, but the Modi factor has held on in these places or made gains and not in Uttar Pradesh? Maharashtra is a very clear-cut case of opposition unity plus sympathy because they broke parties. But UP is much more complex and I think it needs study. Of course, Akhilesh Yadav's formula to enlarge the MY base of the Samajwadi Party has worked. The non-Yadav OBCs have turned to it. The Dalits have turned to it, which is a very big factor. And of course, the Muslims have come out like one man to vote for the Congress and the Samajwadi Party. But was there a pushback from within the BJP Sangh system? Did the Sangh really not, RSS not come out, its workers not come out to campaign in the way they've done in past elections? And if so, why? But why did the Rajputs become indifferent during the elections and are known not to have come out to vote? Rajputs have been clearly the BJP's vote bank, and with Yogi Adityanath and Rajnath Singh being there, this is again a very curious thing to have happened. So I think one will have to look at all these things. But given the situation that Narendra Modi finds himself in, I agree with you, he will have to shift gear. He's already shifting gear because he talked today about, even as he attacked the Congress again, very sharply, he talked about running the country through consensus. That is the language Atal Bihari Vajpayee used to use.
It's very interesting, but let's take your last question. Was there a pushback from within the Sangh system? Santwana, what do you say?
If you look at the election, how it has been conducted, there is no doubt about the fact that the last mile help that RSS gives BJP in terms of taking voters to the booths, that was not done. And very surprisingly, when I went to UP, the kind of criticism I heard from people associated with RSS, with Sangh sympathizer, it was really amazing. What had backfired, what one could understand was both the slogans of 400, 400 Par and Vikshit Bharat on 2047. So both were looked at very critically. Not just that, it is from within the people associated with the Sangh coming out and actually saying that if they're saying the economy is doing so well, how come 80 crore people are being on a free ration? It doesn't make, so the critical and also critical comments on the health system, on the education system. It was very, very surprising. This was very noticeable in UP. Okay, so that being the case, I don't think that there is going to be too much of rocking the boat, as they say. What one can expect now is a kind of status quo, and that is what, in terms of the how the government will look like, in terms of portfolios, and how things in choice of the BJP president. I don't think there is going to be too much of a sort of surprise
you don't think
surprise there.
Got that. You
Yeah.
think there'll be no dramatic shifts?
Right.
Let me
Right, and I would also like to add that there is a very high possibility that there is going to be a woman president, and from the way they have gained ground in the south, somebody, I won't be surprised if somebody from Tamil Nadu or south is picked up as a party president, and we are hearing those murmurs, murmurs within the ecosystem, if you one can say.
But I think with all the health warnings that Shantanu flagged, that nobody really knows what's going on in the BJP, and we're actually just guesstimating here. Sabha, what do you think?
Nothing will happen now. They will carry on. Of course, they'll change the president. Shantanu is the best informed among us. What is the most controversial theory about the BJP? It was spouted by Arvind Kejriwal, right? 2 महीने में आदित्यनाथ योगी को हटाने वाले हैं. Now, this theory is valid if the Modi was very strong, and if Modi and Amit Shah distributed most of the tickets. Okay, they did. I mean, sorry, this is what people who contested and lost are telling me. So he can hardly blame Yogi for this. Now, it was a Gujarat MP, Gujarat guy, Rupala, who started this Thakur thing. Secondly, even the policy of bringing in all the corruption tainted and breaking parties helter-skelter in Maharashtra, it was a policy cleared by the Prime Minister himself. Sabko hamare taraf lao. So after that, who can he blame? Now, however, if there is, I mean, the sun sung, and they'll take their own, and surely, I had gone, they've divided UP up into 6 zones, as Shantanu knows best. And so there were problems. People were not happy with me. They are human beings. Some cadres are not some machinery. They are human beings, and there were things they did not like in particular seats, and they were unhappy about it. So they were being taken for granted. The most amazing result. Look at the seat of Ayodhya, and where the SP has put forward a Dalit, a Pasi Dalit, in a general category seat and defeated. And why has this happened? Did the government not know that there was a lot of dismay with locals on the ground? Because a woman journalist whom I know well, she had kept on saying they're going to lose Ayodhya, and she's from Ayodhya. And she said they're going to get under 40 seats, and they got for the local journalists. So it's not as if, but obviously the BJP had no clue. I never believed her. I thought maybe, how come she's got this Ayodhya thing, and now it's becoming clear people did not like all of this. They did not like being pushed around by VIPs, and to just put it, and there was a mood. Look, you don't lose 8% votes. It's a significant chunk loss. There is a mood against you also. You don't lose it.
But who are you holding responsible for that, Sabha?
I'm not holding anyone responsible. I'm just saying there is an attempt to. I saw some. Okay, I'll tell you this. Some journalists who are traditionally close to Mr. Shah and all saying, "Oh, stock will be taken of how sabotage." I mean, but who gave the tickets? I mean, so there are these jumbled up questions here. Who sabotaged? Who gave the tickets? If you want to believe a saboteur theory, sure, but who determined the tickets that were clearly poor? And who decided to bring every corruption accused, like, "Aajao, hamare paas aajao, get into the washing machine"? But the BJP in the Modi era had very poor respect for state level leaders. They just changed them. They pass a women's bill and they get rid of Vasundhara Raje, and they completely sideline her, a woman who has been a mass leader. Shivraj wins. So now Shivraj is going to be brought in. That itself is cutting Modi down to size. Because anyone who's covered the era when they were all chief ministers at the same time, I mean, some of them didn't like it at certain times. It's just that Shivraj is a modest kind of a person. Vasundhara Raje actually took up the issue in an internal meeting and said that why is it that one chief minister gets more, respect thing than others do? They were all equal chief ministers in the earlier era. So all these, there are human beings at the end of it, and something has gone wrong, but they are human beings. So right now, Modi is not going to be the person who decides everything all the time, especially if he fails, especially if the BJP fails in Maharashtra and Haryana, and then there's Jharkhand coming up.
Yeah, the assembly elections.
Things will be recalibrated. Everything will be rethought.
So let me bring in Shantanu at this point. Shantanu, on Uttar Pradesh, you're correct to say that Modi made a big display that all is well with Yogi Adityanath today at that NDA meeting. But as Sabha says, there will be questions asked about who was responsible for the ticket distribution. That seemed to be one of the major mistakes made. The people who were brought in from outside, from other parties, it dispirited the cadre. The turnout was not great in some of the BJP bastions. So do you, and we know that Yogi Adityanath was the only BJP chief minister that Delhi could not replace at will. They could not do to him what they did to Shivraj Singh Chauhan, or they could not do to him what they did to Vasundhara Raje Scindia. So what happens now to the Yogi Adityanath Modi equation according to you?
I think first of all, this bad ticket theory is a totally bogus theory. Why? I'll tell you why. Narendra Modi was not a bad candidate, right? Or was it? His vote share reduced from 63% to 54%, meaning there is a major vote shift happening, right? Let's not keep running around, because this is a very easy theory, right? A lot of new candidates lost, right? Chandrasekhar, Prime Minister Chandrasekhar's son lost. Neerja Shekhar lost the election from Balia, bastion for Neerja Shekhar and for BJP also. From Allahabad, lawyers, Kesinath Tripaঠি's son, Neeraj Tripathi lost. So, and they are young, nice, good-looking, good-speaking candidates, right? So, I think this is a very easy armchair theory. The people who I know traveled, but I know they've not studied or have a bias while doing it. See, BJP has a way to give tickets, and which is standard across all the states. The chief, if you have a sitting chief minister, the chief minister, the Pradesh Adhyaksh, the state president, and the Sangathan Mantri, they scout out the local names based on whatever thing they're the winnability. They bring the whole panel, almost 3 to 4 names on each seat, to the Central Parliamentary Committee, where Amit Shah and his team is ready, or Amit Shah, Nadda ji, every team is ready with their own survey, right? Which is on the winnability surveys done by various agencies, and they try to match the surveys and also match it with the political intelligence. Iska virodh to nahi hai, jeetega, caste ka question kya hai, Sapa ne kya ticket diya hai, Baspa ne kya ticket diya hai, and they match it, right? There are differences, and good, there is a space for differences, right? There are differences, and some there might be instances where Yogi Adityanath might get one ticket here and there, and maybe he's ruled out, right? So that is the theory. People say, oh, he wanted 40 tickets and he's not ruled out. People are saying he wanted 40 Kshatriya tickets. Why on the hell he will want 40 Kshatriya tickets in UP where 7% Thakurs, right? So these theories are totally bogus. Yeah, but now on the hindsight, doing commentary is super easy, right? Ayodhya, they lost. See, you know, they have a tough fight in the Ayodhya assembly election also, when I think the name is Ved Prakash Gupta, when he won, right? See, Ayodhya is not a typical BJP seat. In 2004, 2009, BJP lost the seat to BSP once and Congress once. So in 14 and 19, because Amit Shah did this very small caste coalition, we forget that era. And because of that fake video...
But this is after the Ram...
This is after the Ram Mandir. After the Ram Mandir. See, MLA election, MLA thing happening when this all shop breaking was happening. A lot of people saying it's happening because there's a lot of destruction happening. The MLA election happened right then, and BJP scraped through. They won the election. So I think it's only can be studied by the movement of Dalit vote. If you know, in Ayodhya, the Nara was na Ayodhya na Kashi, jeetega Pasi, because it was a Pasi candidate. He's a 6th or 7th time MLA. He's not a new guy. Avdesh, I think Avdesh Kumar is his name. So I think it has to be studied. The UP election has to be studied by the movement of Dalit vote, and that too to a Yadav party, which otherwise they were not voting. But the presence of Congress allowed Dalit to move there. And the SC/ST video, Samvidhan chala jayega, all those fake videos added to the fuel. I think that's how you have to study it. One candidate there, one candidate here would not have changed the story.
Okay, let me, Saba, you wanted to say, you know, the fake video allegation against Revanth Reddy has its own debate, but Shantanu, Lalu Singh, who's the sitting member of Parliament,
no, but was it not a fake video? But was it not a fake video?
No, मैं कुछ और बोल रही हूँ. I'm saying Lalu
Singh. I'm just asking you, was it not a fake video?
I don't know. As far as I know,
you can hear the rally. You can hear the rally video, Amit Shah.
Yes,
and you can hear that video. Why you don't know? Why you don't know?
because I'm not talking about that. I was going to talk about something else.
So that's an
which is
important
that
point, right? Why we are
I
why we are
agree.
rushing under the
I
carpet?
agree.
That's an
No, no,
important
no, wait
topic.
one
It
No,
was
no, no.
circulated in every it was circulated in every SP rally. Every SP cadre had that video in their mobile phone. Every WhatsApp groups was filled that video. So that video should be talked about. Let's not brush up with
Okay,
that video.
talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm
What do
saying,
you
yeah,
think the fake video?
yeah.
What do you think the fake video did? What I was trying to say was the
Mhm,
fake video is one side, but people like Lalu Singh
mhm.
did say themselves कि
Yeah.
हमें हमें संविधान बदलना है. He is the sitting MP of
So what do you
Ayodhya.
what do you
That's
mean
all
by
I was trying to
Samvidhan
say.
Badalte?
He
But
said to
what do
you,
you?
Barkha,
No,
No,
not
he
no,
to
said
me.
to
No, no,
no.
no.
Lallu
He
Singh
said
said
it at a
Lallu Singh was
public
the
speech.
first one.
He said
Lallu
it at a
Singh,
public rally. He
yeah.
said it
So
at a public rally.
Lallu Singh, Anand Hegde used this expression, Samvidhan badal denge. Or what do you mean by Samvidhan badal denge? And Samvidhan badal denge will brought new things. The
Yeah.
Article 368 gives you amendments. Out of the 106 amendments, BJP did 8 amendments. What are those amendments? Women reservation, 10% EWS, OBC can be selected by the state government, OBC commission. So these are the amendments. Only thing, this is a big failure of the BJP IT cell that they were not able to counter this fake video, which were available in multiple mobile phones in UP. And once you send a rumor to 100 people, only 50 get the clarification. I think that is the crux of it. In Bihar, it did not work because Chirag Paswan is able to counter it. The EBC hold of Nitish Kumar was able to counter it. In Madhya Pradesh, Congress was not has a structure to spread such a video. That's why I think that video should be studied to great length while someone going to feel that how much effect it had.
And the
he's
point is,
made a very, can I just say one
no,
thing?
no, no. It's an important point. I just want to
Very
clarify to
important, I
Shantanu
agree
that
with
it's
him.
a very important point.
Carry
I'm
it
not
ahead.
trying to brush it. I'm not trying to
No,
brush
I'm
it under
not.
the carpet. And we are acknowledging your point, Shantanu. I was just trying to bring in the Lalu Singh point. That's all. But Sabha, go ahead. Yeah.
I just wanted to add to Shant, as an intellectual expert, I'm not countering, that then suggests that because that Hindutva, the attempt to, because PM made many controversial speeches, all saying Muslims are going to take this and Muslims are going to take that. But the point is, Hindutva, I'll say not just Ayodhya loss, even in Varanasi South, it's one of the assembly segments. It has the lowest margin of victory for, and that's where the Kashi corridor and all are. It has a very high Pandit Brahmin population also. So I mean, something went. We have to understand something went wrong for the BJP, and they will analyze it. And I think that's one aspect. I don't disagree with what Shantanu is saying, but
Yeah.
other things are also going wrong.
Okay, we have to take last comments again. The fact is that the BJP is normally very good at controlling narrative, and there Shantanu makes this point that there was this fake video कि संविधान बदल के आपकी it will hit reservation and protection that Dalits get from the constitution, and why was that not effectively countered? Let me come to Santwana. What would you be looking out for in the first 3 months, let's say, of the new government?
First thing, we have to, of course, see what portfolios get distributed. Very interestingly, who becomes the speaker is going to be a very important thing. Whether the allies get it, I doubt Modi will allow the speaker's chair to go to somebody else, though Chandrababu Naidu is very insistent on that chair. Okay, so as of now, that is the only point of contention right now, if I have understood it. The other thing I want to add a little bit on this Ayodhya thing. It's not just the Dalit candidate issue. Of course, there was a movement of Dalit vote away from BJP. There is another thing. What the BJP needs to look at is the absolute arrogance of its sitting MPs and its this thing. Lalu Singh was defeated by people because of his extremely arrogant behavior. You take each of the, if you look at the candidates, of course, the caste factor was there. So, and in Ayodhya, it was also being talked about that it's not Ram, but Marx. Karl Marx will decide who is going to win the seat, because CPI had a candidate there. Okay, and a very respected lawyer candidate was there. Okay, so it's not that, but the Lalu Singh, the sitting MP, everybody was talking about how inaccessible and arrogant he was. Okay, and this is a refrain you hear about. I heard about BJP MPs all through. their
I think
reputation. Yeah, so that was also a very big factor. Apart from the fact that the constitution, this "Char so par" slogan,
got it.
boomeranged. As for what may happen is, will we see BJP trying to soar up its numbers? Okay, with more allies, other people like Uddhav is
Yeah.
not going to do. Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray is unlikely to come because he's going to face an assembly election very soon, and he is his popularity is quite
Yeah.
high right now.
But
He'll come
but
back as CM. So
we
that
have
is
to,
not happening. But
yeah.
others, who are the others who may come in? Okay, so or whether there will be a break, whether the SP will break or the Congress will break in the process. That is something one needs to look at, whether BJP will get those
I
numbers on their own.
I'm
And
sure.
yeah,
Let me just come in here and give Neerja the last word. Neerja, I'm sure the BJP will not want to be vulnerable, and at some point will try and pad up its numbers in the NDA. I think that's quite clear. I don't know where those numbers will come from, whether it's in Uddhav Thackeray, whether it's, as Santwana said, some other members of other parties. But in the immediate, in the first, let's say 3 months, what would you be looking out for?
I think those things, I'm sure Narasimha Rao, if you remember, got almost this kind of a figure when he came to power. It was a minority government. He ran first. And then he broke parties and made it into a majority government. I think it would be very natural as time goes by. Of course, the BJP will fish in troubled waters or look out for potential allies. And let's see how that situation develops. But for the immediate, I think they will want to stabilize with their present allies, make them feel comfortable, set the pace for governance. What is the big ticket thing they will do? Because Agniveer, of course, is a scheme that they more or less now agreeing to review in one way or another. Will they go ahead with one nation, one election? As far as uniform civil code is concerned, what happens there will be pursued at the state level, not so much at the central level. And overall, I would also like to look at the composition of the cabinet, not as far as the allies are concerned, where they will bargain and things will be worked out. Who amongst the senior leaders of the BJP find important berths within the government? What I will especially look at Shivraj Chauhan, the role he's given.
Yeah.
But as you said, of course, there's a buzz that he may get party presidentship. I don't know. But today, remember, with almost 8 lakh lead, he with the kind of governance experience as a chief minister, he is one of the most experienced leaders in the party. Therefore, what role does he get? Does Vasundhara Raje Sandhya come back in one way or another? So I think all those things one would like to look at. But initially, I think the Prime Minister will stabilize, and he's trying to give the impression that from these meetings with the Cabinet and Council of Ministers were very different from the Prime Minister the day before, was subdued and tired. It was, this is a challenge we will take. We will show you, we will run a coalition.
Yes,
so that's
certainly.
The kind of trying to strike.
Certainly, there was a kind of re-energized persona conveyed or projected definitely today. Shantanu, very briefly before we close, if you just want to come in on the cabinet formation, what might be the challenges? Because now you have to accommodate allies, and that's what's changed. You never had to do that in the last 2 terms.
No, but earlier, though, they did not have to accommodate the allies, but allies were given decent portfolios, right? And that was good about BJP. Even when they had a complete majority, they gave space to the allies. And now you're right, they're forced to give, and I'm sure there must be some bargain. And also, they have to accommodate the states which have delivered. So let's say Madhya Pradesh will get good portfolios, right? And they have to also accommodate the regions and the castes also, where they might have faced little flack in the voting percentage. I think all those signals will go. And let's see what happens on 9th.
Okay, we leave it there. Lots to look out for. Sorry, Neerja. Neerja saying something, Neerja? 1 minute. Can we unmute Neerja? Please, can we unmute Neerja? Yes,
Sorry?
Neerja. Yes, we didn't hear you. Please repeat.
Does Amit Shah get finance? That's the other question mark that's hanging out there. So yes, I think Amit Shah I will get a central role. He's very critical to Modi's management of governance. So I don't see him weakening.
Sabha, were you wanting to add a question?
I want to add, George Fernandez was defense minister. I'm just going back to the Vajpayee era when the most significant portfolio for an ally was given to George Fernandez in the Cabinet Committee for Security.
Right.
I'm just harking back to that time.
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to just wait.
But there's a very famous anecdote on that. A very famous anecdote. I'm sure Neerja's book is full of those anecdotes. I'm sure she knows about it. When Manmohan Singh went to meet Vajpayee after being elected, or some say selected as Prime Minister, one of the this is a tradition which is followed. One of the things which Vajpayee is said to have told him is secure your CCS. Don't allow any outsider there. So that is something which apparently also Manmohan Singh to Modi also that sort of advice was transferred, and so that will be the most interesting thing to see is whether CCS, anybody outside, any ally is allowed inside CCS. I doubt that is going to happen. CCS
Shantanu,
will be.
Yeah, Shantanu, before we close, any thoughts?
Cabinet Committee on Security is going to be all BJP is what.
I think a tiny thought. I also agree with it. A coalition with 180 with BJP and coalition with 240 with BJP will be a very different coalition.
Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll just have to be patient and see how this unfolds. Thank you so much to Shantanu Gupta, Santwana Bhattacharya, Neerja Chowdhury, and Saba Naqvi, and to our audience. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
We're at the Indian mainland's southernmost tip in Kanyakumari, the confluence of the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea, and the Indian Ocean. It is from here that we're beginning our big road trip to the heart and the soul of India, Awaaz of Democracy. That's all about traveling thousands of kilometers to look at the food, the fun, the festivity, the flavors of this election, but also, of course, to tell the stories of you the people, of we the people. At Mojo Story, we have always gone to where the story is. It could be the battlefields of Israel and Gaza, it could be the conflict zone of Manipur, or it could be the sorrow and the tragedy of COVID. We think of all of you as members of our community, of our family. So, I'm urging you and requesting you today to help us tell your stories and our stories. So do become a Mojo member. Support and power our storytelling, but also get first access to our big interviews, our special ground reports, our town halls, and also have the opportunity to ask our newsmakers questions directly, as well as get published on our platform. Become a Mojo member, click on the link below, and see you soon.